a fork on the road here on my automotive evolution. Here's why. So for years now, I've been dreaming about the 997 GT3, right?
Oh yeah, that's
And I drove. The lucky thing for me is that I drove that car. My first Porsche I ever drove was when I decided to rent a Porsche for the weekend. I wanted to reward myself. I was turning, returning a mature age. And I looked around and I saw, okay, oh, they have a Porsche, oh, they have a GTR. I want to get the GTR. But the GTR was no longer available. And oh, they have a 911. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a GT3. Oh, it's my favorite car. I said, all right. And I didn't know what I was getting. So I had a GT3 white 997 delivered to my house. It was a pretty good deal. I didn't pay that much. It was like...
I didn't know about this. When did this happen?
Oh, yeah. See, you have to
keep
get...
everything on so
yeah, I could have disclosed step by step. Delivered. Wow. And it was a pretty good price. It wasn't bad. And from New York. And I drove that car for 3 days. It was like the most memorable thing. And then I experienced what a GT3 drives like, right? It's got a heavy clutch, that engine. I mean,
this wasn't PDK. This was
it was like raw, man. The 997, and it's the car that went up in value over time. So now, okay, I'm in my a crossroad where I'm deciding whether do I really want to get into those cars, right, or do I want to appreciate continue to experience the less expensive cars that give you a lot more for your money. Like, things like, if the S2000 didn't exist, I'll be looking at an ND Miata that's maybe come down in value, maybe do some suspension work, or the Mustang GT 350R, right? That's very expensive now, but do I want to spend, because when you go into a car like that, like the Porsche, you're paying for that engineering, you're paying for the premium name.
Yeah, sure.
And then when you drive a really good car like the S2000 against that, and you say, man, this car is better, but is it good enough to justify the additional $60,000-$70,000, right? And that you pay up front, and the depreciation hit of 30% or so after the year. So what do you think about that, Antonio?
I don't know. It's I guess it depends on what part of life you're in. I guess like if I was making a decent amount of money and not having to worry about actually paying this and paying that, I think I would own one of these cars and actually try it out for once, because for the longest time I've always wanted to own a Porsche. I've seen many people with it, and it seems like it's a fun car. So I mean, like, it depends, like I said, but like where I'm at now, I don't think I could do it. I mean, I've test drove the 718, I've test drove the regular V6, Porsche S, and it was fun. It made me laugh, smile, give me a look. But ultimately, when I get out the car, I mean, it doesn't last. That feeling that I had when I was driving, it doesn't last that long. It kind of fade away as I walk towards my S2000. And especially after I start driving it, it's just, I don't forget about it. I still have that, that feeling, what I felt driving the car, but nothing really sticks to me like that. So I don't know.
And does the S2000 stick with you?
It definitely does. Because like I've owned so many, I guess, and that's pretty much what I've driven. Even though I like I said, I want to try something different. But like I said, when I do try something different, now I don't know whether or not I should give it more time, because a test drive might just be a short period of time. Maybe with a Porsche, you kind of have to have it for a longer period than just a test drive, maybe. And maybe that's what I'm missing, because every time I test drive it, like I said, it just doesn't stick, So maybe one of these days, I don't know, one of these days. But that's what I got for this one. I'm gonna hand over the mic to the next person.
What are you doing with the car there? Are you just tracking, or wanting to have a weekend car?
That's the thing.
A little bit of everything?
I think if I was going to get a Porsche or a 911 or a Boxster, I would probably be wanting... I don't want another garage thing. right?
Yeah, like your.
I don't want a garage, and I heard with those cars that you have to drive them, especially the older cars, because they do, unlike the Hondas, they things starts leaking and things like that. So I would probably daily drive, some spirited driving within the speed limits, and if outside of the speed limits, I'll make sure I'm in Mexico. For that. Maybe take it to some mountain roads. But then what I worry about, if the S2000 or a less expensive car, where I am in my life as far as the type of driving experiences I look for, I want that to be able to go to a track and be a better driver. I want to go to the autocross.
Oh, that's a good
That's
right?
time. You gotta put time in there.
That's
yeah.
time. And based on my driving habits today, I can't really do that with the 911 because one, it's just going to be too expensive.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing for you to buy it. The other thing is for you to maintain the driving style that you want out of that
Exactly.
car.
Yeah.
Like I met a guy at one of the car shows. He has I think you saw him. He's got a GT3. He's got a GT3 RS, and he just bought a Cayman, used Cayman, just for the purpose of tracking their car.
It's just a used Cayman.
And that's great. It's a great sort of foundation for tracking.
But you got to see what kind of bracket you're in for making. I mean, if you're making, a quarter and up, you got no problem.
So that's what it is, right? And then for a guy who has to kind of stretch himself more than an S2000 to get a car like that, and then you can't really drive it the way you want to drive it, like at the track.
Exactly.
And then you gotta be all worried about the maintenance and all that. So I think there are two things. One, my driving habits today, and what the cost will be to run a car the way I want to run it if I buy a car like that.
Yeah.
If I buy a Cayman, I want to take it to the track.
Oh yeah.
I want to experience. I want to brake hard. And the S2000, I can do that. And what's the worst case? As long as I handle the car fine. I got brakes. I got rotors, right?
Yep.
Brake pads, rotors cost what, 30, 40 bucks?
Yeah,
each, I
very
don't know.
minimum. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And you get 80% or even more fun than maybe a Cayman.
Oh yeah.
So I think about, okay, what am I getting? What am I getting today? So based on my habits, some of us guys here, we're in a different place. We want to take it to the track and all that. So what do you think?
That's why I always thought the Lotus was a great car, because one, it had the 2ZZ motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tires were, what, 225, 255 at most.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can't remember.
I mean, maintenance was minimal. I mean, the body is what you're paying for, and you don't have to do any maintenance on that. So that was a great car to me.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
So the other thing about that is depreciation. With the cars that we've owned, we've gotten spoiled with the fact that we can buy a car, drive it for a year, and not to see any dipping on the value of the car. So the other thing is with a normal car out there, you gotta take that hit.
Oh, yeah.
Take that into consideration, yeah. But like you said with the Lotus, though, that's actually a good point, especially if you're going to track the car.
So like a Lotus Elise, like something around 25,000, 30,000 or less. Can you get some less now?
Yeah, you can
Probably
probably
get it
I
around
don't know about less, but you definitely
Probably
can get
30,
like a rebuilt title Lotus that looks perfect and it's been built properly for 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a clean title for like 30. But I think that's a reasonable price for an actual sports car that's ready to go to the track with light maintenance and I think it's I don't know. It's probably a better car. I don't know if it's a better car in the track than the S2000, but it's damn well close to it. Yeah,
You can drive faster on that car, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
I think the build quality is a little bit different.
Yeah, one of the things is if you go with a heavier car, such as a 911, they're going to have bigger brakes in the front.
Yeah.
And you're going to have bigger tires, and that's what you got to
And
pay for
tires
in the
are
maintenance.
expensive,
Yeah, exactly.
And I probably wouldn't. I would be a little more apprehensive about playing with it, like putting on a lift and doing an oil change. And
Oh yeah.
Right.
it's all
Having to take the damn engine out. I mean, it's a lot more harder to work with, I guess.
So
It's not
I'm
easy.
afraid. I don't know. I'm afraid. I wonder if I will continue. The question is going to be: am I going to continue to to become more and more interested in 911 or Porsche or whatever, or am I going to start getting more the other direction, which is, I want inexpensive cars that gives you a lot for your money so that I can enjoy it the way I want to enjoy it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe,
Time will tell.
Yeah,
Time will tell.
definitely
Maybe the
tell.
Elise.
The
Right?
Elise is really. I mean, like I said, I won't even mind purchasing another Elise for the mid 30s. or if, like I said, you could pick one up. There's a, I can't recall their name, but there's one. They're south of Orlando or something. They specialize in Lotus.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you could buy their Lotuses for like maybe $25,000, but it has a rebuild title because it got maybe hit in the clamp.
Oh,
and
the
just,
clamp,
it
whatever.
just got replaced, but nothing like, you know, major stuff happened to it, and it looks brand new. And it's like you can buy these kind of cars for 25 grand, and they're just like an excellent track car already.
Have you ever seen one with a K-swap or no?
No,
Okay.
I actually haven't, not live. No, I've seen it online somewhere.
I know the stock Lotus makes about,
190.
well, I'm saying at the wheels maybe 170, 60.
Oh yeah, roughly.
Now with the K-swap, you can be at like 230, 240. So that's pretty significant on the track.
Crazy.
K-swap, right?
Yeah.
And that
that's a
car is
similar
going to hold
engine
its
to our
value as
S2000.
well.
Oh yeah.
You know, that car will hold its value.
And they're at what, 1,800 pounds? So,
There you go.
About 2 grand, yeah.
So-
and that motor too is very.
Very good. And would you cross over to a Mustang though? Well, would you do that?
Yeah, but I think it would be towards the bottom of my list more like, because I'm always used to having a small sportier car like a Miata or a Lotus
Nimble,
Elise.
like-
Very small. I've never really got into the big heavy car, but I'm sure like if I give it a chance and get into one that's properly tuned and tweaked for for the proper setting, like for the track, and I test drive, and I'll probably be surprised. And who knows? I just never really got into one, but like preferably my preferences has always been a smaller car. I just feel more comfortable driving it. It seems to me that's what I'm used to, and I feel,
Yeah.
you know, so maybe I might consider maybe trying it out, like really not. I was surprised at one point we went to the track and we saw that the Mustang, the turbocharged Mustang,
Handled really well.
and it handled well, and it was hard for me to keep up with him on my S2000, and this was a stock. I think he got a little suspension change with racing tires, but that kind of opened my eyes a little bit and just kind of kept it in the back of my head, like, wow, these cars are pretty good in the track when, so I don't know. I would probably consider.
That's interesting because those cars feel differently, right? As
Oh.
far as the weight of the car going.
Yeah, definitely the new 5.0 Mustang, I think, has the down-low grunt torque that you need for the track.
And that's the thing, like, I think when you experience a lighter car, rear-wheel drive, you can have a heavy car that performs really well, but it's going to feel different, that heavy car taking a turn.
It's like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
used to,
All right, so that's good. So this is the end of our first podcast, and what should we title this podcast? Any questions? So we can put that on.
I mean, we talked about different type of, I guess, sports car that we could kind of take to the track as well as drive daily, and maybe reliability issues. So I don't know. A good title for that would be probably lightweight or
Light and nimble.
light and nimble, and cost, low cost, light, nimble, and more for your money.
more for your money from a different type of manufacturer from the
Versus-
Germans, the Americans, and the
And-
Japanese cars.
Right, versus American. And when do you cross over to something that gives you a little more refinement, performance, but it may give you, 10 more out of a big scale, 10 more points, but then you're paying a lot more for on the scale of price, right?
I would have to agree. Yeah.
So what do you do that? I mean, so people like us that have gotten used to finding a really, really good car, it's tough to cross over now to something that gives you less for the money.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So here we go.
So until next time, I guess.
So next time on the next episode of What Would You Do?
What would you do?
And, given a chance to do something different. And that can apply to everything. All right, signing out, guys.